Thank you. All right, so we're rolling. Today, you had to read pages 14 and 15. I asked you to discuss these problems here. So, what does n represent in this equation here? Talk to your tables. Go.
Negative 140 because adding a negative one is like subtracting.
All right. So let's come back up here. So Jaden, I heard two groups. I had one group say, well, it represents a big negative number. That is absolutely true. It does represent a big negative number. But what else does it represent? Yeah. So I'm going to tell you. If you did the reading, n represents the change. This is why this is important, Athena. You guys know that I like math a lot. But here's the deal. Math is a language, and it's a language of numbers. And so how you read that language really matters. This you can read, and it's read like this. I started the day, or we started the oven, and when I checked it was 120. Or it wouldn't be an oven, would it? Because it went way down. Cooler. I opened the cooler. It was in the sun. It was 120. We put a bunch of ice in it. It had this big, huge change. The end temperature in the cooler was negative 20. That is a language. It's readable. And math is that language. You have to understand that these number sentences mean something. They're not just numbers. They're not like taking numbers and throwing them at a board and just hoping that they stick. They actually mean something. The cooler was 120 when it was in the sun. We put a bunch of ice in it. There was a big change. This is the change. It ended at 120. So that change, if I was here, I'd have 120. And then I'm going to put 0 way down here. And then this is going to be negative 20. How much was that change? What is that n? Talk to your tables and discuss how you figure it out. Go. Diego, participate.
Yeah, that's negative.
Yeah. So Keegan, what'd you guys get? What'd you guys get for this change? How much is this n?
It'd be negative 100, right?
Very close. That's really, hey guys, that's a good thing. No, say it. What'd you get?
I said negative 100.
And what is it?
Negative
140. This is how we do it. I know that this is absolute value. We learned about absolute value yesterday. From 120 to 0, how far is it? 120. How far is it from 20 to 0? Negative 20 to 0? 20. So how far is this big? This is my n. How much is the change? Well, it's 120 plus 20. So it's 140. Now, here's my next question. Is it a positive change or a negative change? Zane. Is the temperature going up or is it going down?
Negative.
It's going down, so that's a negative change. Okay, that's how you do that problem. Okay, go ahead, share your warm-up and your line graph, okay, or number line that has those parts on it. Go. What'd you make for a scale there?
Number
You went by twos? Nice. Twos work. Twos work. Right? I mean, you necessarily didn't have to go by twos because we're only going, that's as high as we went, right? Okay. So up here, Gavin, put that away. Are you working on the warm-up? Okay, that's cool. All right. Here. Ned, why did I put 7 here and negative 7 there? They're opposites. Why else? Yeah.
7 was also the least and the biggest.
Yeah, it's the least and the greatest, right? So I know I don't have anything bigger than that, so I just put my sides. Where would 0 go now?
Middle.
Smack dab in the middle. Now I do have to figure out my scale, right? Because I want to keep it fairly consistent, but it's not going to be perfect because I'm just drawing it. So I'm just going to look and I'm going to be like, all right, I'm going to call that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, not bad. 6. So you can see that's pretty close, right? That's how big 1 is. And then here I'll do the same. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. All right. So now I can put these other numbers on. -3.5 should be in the middle, between -3 and -4. Okay. Positive 3.5 is between 3 and 4 as well. It's halfway. And now I go to the last one. -0.5. Common mistake is to put it on the other side of the 1. But it's not between -1 and -2. It's between -1 and 0. Positive half is there. Questions? That's kind of what you had to do for your homework last night. Except you didn't have to make a scale, right? I'm asking you here, what kind of scale did you use? What kind of scale did I use? How big's my scale? Henry? Goes by ones. I made a scale by ones. Diego made a scale by 2s. 2s work because what's in between 2 and 4? 3. And then if I know 3's halfway, 3.5 is halfway between that. So I can use 2s pretty easy. Yeah?
So I didn't fill in all the numbers.
You didn't have to.
Okay.
No, you didn't have to. But I did want a semi-scale, right? Because it was asking for it. Questions about the warm-up? Okay, go ahead and put that away, please. Okay, these next 2 pieces, guys. You guys, like I said, first time, first class, everyone did their homework. Awesome. So I'm really impressed. That's a really big benefit that hopefully we can capture. Because hopefully in a couple weeks we're going to start the homework routine. Okay? And it should be pretty cool, I hope. So keep that up. The good thing about that is if you're always doing your homework, you're not missing homework. And it's hard to keep track of it. I know I was just talking to Hawken earlier, who did his homework, but the day he did it, you didn't have it, right? It was in your locker. It happens. He did his homework. He left it in his locker, Caleb. Okay? He didn't have it. It's hard to keep track of it. It is, if you don't have it on the day I check, whose responsibility is to make sure that I get it checked? Is it mine or yours? Okay. I'm doing my job on the day of, right? It's like I go around, I try to do a good job, I check your homework. So if you don't do it, Caden, it becomes more of your responsibility, right? To show me. So I don't have to grab you in lunch and be like, hey, you're missing homework. You're like, well, I did it. Well, then just come in the morning and show me. Or if it's the day before when I'm coming around, you can be like, oh, yeah, Mr. Brown, here's yesterday's. I forgot it, or I didn't do it. Here it is. I look at it. Okay, boom. And I check it off. Awesome. But you got to make sure that it's you're checking with me, right? There's 95 of you guys. That's a lot to remember who's done their homework and who hasn't. So it's really difficult for me. So stay on your missing work. And this morning, I had 2 kids. I'm trying to see if one of them's in here. Came in this morning and was like, Miss McFarland, I only have a 2 out of 4 on this homework. And I'm like, that's because the day I checked, you didn't have it. And she's like, well, I did it. Go grab it. Show me. Went, got it. Had it labeled, right? Was like 2, 5C. Boom. Done. Fixed. Now she has 100% as opposed to a 50% for her homework for that week. Perfect example of checking why you checked Infinite Campus. It works. I actually had that up there, and then one came in, and then another came in right after. Both had used Infinite Campus and found out that, like, oh, that's right, I forgot to hand that in. So see, Diego, it works. For those of you that are in sports, check Infinite Campus a lot. Okay? And use this time in this class well. We have a test coming up. I can tell you last year's average was a 78. The year before, the average was a 74. A lot of kids did not take this class serious that first couple weeks. You have to do math in here, guys. I give you the time, and I have lots of energy. I'll help you out all day long. Okay? I really want you to learn math, but I don't want you to become ineligible because you don't do well on a test. But if that's what happens, that's what happens. I'll help you after. I want to help you before, right, Kates? I want to help you before it happens, so we avoid it completely, and you're rocking math the whole time with no ineligibility. So I'll do my job as best I can. I ask you guys to work hard. Today we're looking at the same kind of thing that we looked at yesterday. All right. Please put your notes in front of you. So we're moving ahead here. This is, Slide is famous for this. It's kind of cool because we have massive temperature swings where in one 24-hour period. It could be one day or one afternoon. It could be 60 degrees outside. We're outside at recess. Shirts, shorts, awesome. That night, negative 15. It happens. It's kind of cool. We get these huge temperature swings. Well, negative numbers, figuring out what the total change is what we're going to look at today. It's comparing the low to the high and that end value that we talked about. So here, the temperature at 5 a.m. was negative 5. Make sure you take the notes. So I'm going to be looking on my scale. I have a scale of 10. So I know negative 5 is halfway between 0 and negative 10. So I'm just going to fill in my thermometer, and I'm going to label that negative 5. Then over here, at 4 p.m., it was 35 degrees. So again, a scale of 10. So I know that 35 is halfway in between. I'm just going to label 35. And once again, fill it in. Okay. What was the change? So here's the number sentence that is giving me right now. It's actually giving me a number sentence. And the number sentence is this. It started at negative 5. There was some sort of change, and then ended at 35. This is the number sentence. Write it down. That n is how much it changed by. That's what my question is. I have to figure out what the n is. There's that math, the language of math. Yeah? Whoa. Man, I'm so good. Huh, Gavin? Bam. So, the way I like to think about this is because we have negatives and positives, I like to find the difference from the positive side to 0. I'm going to find the absolute value from my temperature to 0. So how far is it from 35 to 0? 35. Whoop, wrong way. So now, how far is it from 0 to 5?
Negative 5.
Ooh, not a negative, just 5. So my total change is going to be 35 plus 5. So my total change is 35 plus 5. That's going to equal this n value. And then I take that n value and substitute it in. So it works out to be negative 5 plus 40 equals 35. Is it a 40-degree positive change or 40-degree negative change? Did the temp go up or temp go down? Temp went up. started at negative 5, climbed up to 35, so it's a positive change, and that's how we end.
Pretty cold.
It is. Negative 5 is pretty chilly. Kaylin.
I'm really confused. So why would you say 5 instead of negative 5?
Because I'm looking at how far is it from 0,
Oh,
right? That's called absolute value. I want to know how far is negative 5 from 0. Well, it's just 5 spaces. How far is 35 from 0? 35 spaces. I add them together to find the total change, and then I have to ask myself, did the temperature go up or did the temperature go down? Because this went up, it's a positive change of 40. Does that make sense?
yes.
It went from here to there, and I could put an arrow on that. But this is my N. That's my total change. You're going to be using this today, guys. What I'd like you to do, I'd like you to do this with your table partners right now. Go for it.
Okay, so 25 and roasted.
Hi. Welcome.
25.
Come 25 plus. Get over here.
Below the 25 plus 35 equals
What's going on?
Yeah. No, it's good. So it's 25
You mean you very well?
and it rose.
They're just roads.
Interesting choices. Just not thinking your choices all the way through.
60. So we should make.
I know.
Okay. The temperature was
Alright, good. We're good.
25.
0.
So we
And then,
Okay, awesome.
so, yeah.
Use that number line. I want you to use your number line. Show me a scale, guys.
You already know it.
No, I want you to show me a scale because
I don't want to use them.
part of what we're practicing is making a scale.
Is that negative 25 or positive?
That's a positive 25.
25 is 35. And the answer to the question
Nice. I like how you did it, Zane.
is not finding 2.
I know.
So, so it'll be 25 plus 2.
Oh, yeah. No, I get it. No, I get it. I thought it rose to 35.
Yeah, so 0 would be
All right. So I was looking at Zane's paper. Zane had 0 way over here. Why? Why'd you put 0 way over there?
Because there's no negative numbers.
Okay, no negatives. It starts at 25 and rises 35. So I can put 0 way over on the left because we know it's not going to go over there. So then it starts at 25 and it rises 35. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So this, and I want you to have this down your paper, this is my N. I just know what this N equals. It equals 35 degrees. That's my change. Right? That's that mathematical language that letter means something. It means change. So this number sentence is quite easy. 25 plus 35 equals X. It equals something. That X is what we just figured out. So I could write in 25 plus 35 equals 60. No? Question? No, ask me, Athena. Because you have a great mathematical brain. Ask me. What's your question?
I don't have a question.
Okay. Okay, what are you confused about?
Why is it 60? Because 25 is 35.
Because it starts, ready? It starts, that's a great question. It starts at 25 and it rose 35 degrees. It didn't rise to 35. Boom. That's a great question, right? The end temperature, Gavin, wasn't 35. It rose 35 degrees. It's a different kind of question, different kind of equation. So, Athena, you were thinking it was kind of like this one, right? And I changed it up on you. So last one, do this one. Same thing, scale, number sentences, go. Don't be fooled by this one, Keegan. Here we go.
It would be negative 10 degrees, wouldn't it? Yeah, the change in temperature would be.
Okay, what is the change in the temperature?
So 0.
10 degrees plus?
Group. It's great. Nate, that's an awesome question. Ask your group.
What number should we do?
Well, what do you think? Tenths? Okay. All right. And where should 0 be? Why way to the right?
Oh, wait.
Right? Because it's all negatives, right? Starts at a negative, increases to a negative.
So negative 10.
It was pages 14 and 15, and then it's all
So, let's look up here. So, Caden, what did the temperature start at? Negative 10. So, starts at negative 10. You notice where I put my 0? I put it way on the right. Riley's like, well, and Gavin are like, there are no negative numbers. So they're all negative numbers. And it ends at a negative number. So I can put my 0 way over here because positives are probably, we're not going to use them. So I go ahead and make my scale. I make my scale by 5s. Okay, 5 is halfway in between. Halfway. I start here and it goes to negative 20. Now this is what's different from the one before. This number sentence looks like this right now. It's saying, hey, the temp was negative 10. There's some sort of change. There's that N, right? That represents change. And it's going to end at negative 20. So you see how that language, that number sentence changes based on what kind of information you get. So how far is it, Kaylin, from negative 10 to negative 20? 10. Now, is the temperature going up or is it going down? Down. So the N, what does N equal? Negative 10. You guys, crushing it. Okay, today, AJ would take his paper, he'll flip it over. This is where he's going to do all his work. Here are the problems that we're going to work on. Like I mentioned earlier, Brennan, what I mentioned earlier, which is, hey, work hard and you will do well on the test. If you don't work hard, you're not going to get the reps and the practice and you're not going to get help from me. Okay, enough. If you have questions, ask me, ask a partner. Okay, but make sure, Athena, you're not walking away like, I could tell you were confused and all of a sudden it was like, ping, and you're like, now I get it. That's why you ask questions. You got to take that risk. Okay, so there we go. On the back side of today's notes, here are your problems. It's on page 16. I'll be coming around once I take attendance, which I have not done yet.
Wait, Mr. On the bottom it says all of pages.
No. It says F all. Yeah, but what are you doing? Hey, don't worry about. Whoops. Don't worry about this right here. This.
This isn't the same page as yesterday.
When are we going to finish the other page?
Oh, well, I'll piece it together throughout the week. You'll see. Caleb, focus. Has nothing to do with math. I'm like a hog. I hear everything.
I would do a 15.
He said he does like it hot.
No, too much.
So it means, so they're starting at 25? Okay, 25, and then B1, it rises 10. B3, it falls 30.
Oh,
So they're using that as a starting temp, and they're telling you the change.
would N be the, would it equal?
N would be the change. So the change is, it's rising 10,
Yeah.
the change is falling. That's a really good question. So no,
So 10 would be N.
boom. Yep, there you go, it's perfect. the change in temperature. So I don't want you to just tell me it's 145. I want you to show me how you get there. Does that make sense? Where do you get 145? You don't have to write a number line. You got to show me, because it says write number sentences. Remember what I was doing? Writing all these number sentences? Okay, so that's what you need to do. You show me how it equals it. Okay? Number sentences. Because I want you to be able to show me that. Does that make sense, Spain? Number sentences. He's like, no! Yeah, see, here you're showing me the change, so now write this sentence. I love, you got the end values perfect. That's the big thing, because that's going to lead into algebra. Totally, and then you'd say n, what is n equal? And now you tell me what n equals. But you had it before. Hey, what's up? Bingo. Ooh, hold on. That is. Okay, yeah, that is right. But the way you think of it is this. It doesn't start at negative 30. It's positive 30. And then there's some sort of change. Wait, no, it's 115. Right. It's 115 to start. Then there's a change. And what does it equal then? Negative 30. Okay, that's the number sentence. Now what does n equal? 100 negative, because it's a negative change. It went from being hot to being really cold. It falls 30. Right, so what kind of change is it? Positive or negative?
No, that's not what I'm asking.
Oh,
Like, I know this equals
Negative 5.
Yeah.
Yep.
30
And,
right here.
right, and then you just say n equals negative 30. No, you leave that just like it is, and you change that. Yep, there you go. Not positive 30, because the temperature's falling 30. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Tell me that. Yeah, of course. Did you ask anybody who you had or not? Right. Okay, so, perfect. You know it starts at 115. So my number sensitivity, it starts at 115. You know that that's a change. You know equals. Okay, so you got your numbers. Now you're asking me, how big is this? Well, how far is it from 115 to 0? How far is it from 0? Not negative, just 30. So how far totally? Pretty cool, huh? It's cool when you can break it up that way and use 0 as your absolute value. You read this one too. Bingo. Well, so it started at a positive. And then you're adding a negative value to get a negative change. I mean, a negative end. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
This is where you start, that's where you end. So in order to get to a negative value, this has to be greater than, I'm sorry, the absolute value of this has to be bigger than 1. Right? Perfect. So now ask yourself that. Yeah, good. What's up? Schedule? Oh, we have a vote. Yeah.
Am I adding? Am I going up to 3?
Yeah, no, you're at, so this is the end value. It's telling you how much it's changing by.
So like,
And it wants, so it's it's positive 3. That's a positive change.
so I'm just doing 15 plus 3.
You got it. Yeah.
Okay. So on this one, I know it's negative.
Mhm.
So would you change this to negative because of?
Yes. Yeah, because that would be plus negative 30. Boom.
Yeah, because I didn't get that because you can't add.
Yep. Okay, guys, please put away those notes. Tomorrow, I lost track of time. So tomorrow I'm going to show you the exit ticket. Oh, tonight, your homework, the only thing you need. Whoops. Is, and again, it's all on Google Classroom. It is question 20 on page 21. So, sorry about losing track of time and not getting to the exit ticket. The exit ticket won't take us too long tomorrow.
What is it?
Maybe-
Question
Question 20
21 on page.
on 21.
Question.
So just write it down. Question 20 on 21. Great job today. You guys plowed through some math. Really good stuff. See, I have a good